Let's all shake it out. There's so much energy on this call. Okay, so we're just going to wait a couple minutes.
Those people are popping on.
They're popping. Can you guys hear us okay?
Yeah.
Sweet.
So sweet. It's so weird how I can't mute some people.
How's everyone?
Very good.
Good.
Yeah. Yesterday was nice.
Oscar. Oh.
Oh no, you're so cute. All right, well, welcome everyone. We are really smashing our abundance blocks today. Blowing that shit out, over and done with, once and for all. Jesus Christ. Like, done with that shit. So our intention, actually, like our inspiration for this call actually came around us launching our course that's starting tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow, but Monday's the first
Monday.
Official call, yeah.
Yeah, and we had like so many people reach out to us and were so wanting to join, but felt like they couldn't pay it. And that was actually really shocking to us because it's only $299 for the entire 8 weeks.
And it comes down to like $5 a day.
It's like $5 a day. There's payment plans. Like our whole intention behind this course was to make it like painfully easy for you guys to just afford it and join. And with that, like so many people are wanting to join, but then we kept getting so many messages about how people felt like they couldn't even afford like $5 a day for their lives to completely shift. And so we're like, oh my God, we need to talk about this. Like, not even just for our course, but just in general, like forget our course, but it's like, this is what we're holding as a community, you know? So that was our inspiration to really address this. So we kind of figured today we would just go through a lot of the main stuck points that we notice people hold around abundance.
Yeah, we made like a long list of all of those.
We have notes today.
We have notes. We're so organized. But like to give you guys like a bunch of different perspectives, because that's all it is. It's a bunch of different perspectives. And feel free, like in the chat room as well, to add more, or you know, if things are coming up for you as well, you can add those to the list.
Yeah, let's just like throw them all on the table today. You know, like any single thing that comes up in you around abundance during this call, just like dump it in the chat box.
It's our little purge.
Just go vomit it over there.
Leave it there. Not needed.
Because the more we can talk to it, the less like it's not personal, you know. Let's just talk about it. Let's just freaking talk about it until the charge around it goes away.
Because the more we hold on to it, then the more that we are identifying with it, and the more that we can just speak to it, then that loosens the identification with it.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with like the core of what we are, but we're running these beliefs in our mind. And so let's just dump them. Let's just dump them. Let's just keep freaking talking about it until it gets boring.
And have fun around it too.
Like, yeah. Yeah, so it's like getting excited, like, okay, what's this random shit that this mind is holding? Like, let's just see it and then move on. Like, it's no big deal, you know? But like as it comes up and you feel it, just express it if that's what's wanting to come out, you know? So that's more than welcome during this call. I guess we wanted to start by really sharing, like, why are you, if you do feel you are stuck in a lack of abundance cycle? So why is it that, like, you try or you don't try, but you just feel like money just doesn't come to you? Like, why is it so fucking hard? Why isn't it working? Like, how do we even go about making money? How do we even go about receiving it in a way that feels good? And we wanted to address that first and foremost, because there's really only one reason why you're staying stuck in an abundance lack. And that's basically, you know, whether or not you want to hear it, it's basically because you're not following your resonance, right? So it's like, say you have an intention that you want to make more money, and then something exciting pops up. Like, it could be this course pops up, it could be something else for you that's popped up, and there's even the slight resonance or interest in doing that thing. You can feel that, but then you don't do it because your lack beliefs come up and you're like, oh, well, wait, like, yeah, that would sound really cool, but like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I don't know how I would pay for that, or I don't know how I would go on this trip, or I don't know
how am I going to pay the bills next month?
How am I going to pay the bills next month if you know, and that starts running. And so you don't follow the excitement, trusting that the excitement is there for a reason. And if you followed it, the money would just come to pay for that. And instead, you hold on to your limiting belief and you don't take any action. And then from that no action on what was exciting for you, you're staying in that same vibration. That's just like that, like the program of lack is like a stuck block. It's not breathing. There's no air coming in and out. And you have to open it up so it can start to move. So basically it's like, that's why you stay stuck. It's like, okay, the excitement comes and your body naturally wants to move towards whatever that is,
but then all the thoughts in the head and everything else come up to say, no, don't do that. You know, even it came up for me. I wanted to join this course in India, and it was this, I had such resonance. My heart was like, yes, I want to take this. And then guess what? I found the price tag, $5,000. And I was like, contraction, like, no way in hell. And then all these things, like, this is a spiritual community, why are they charging $5,000? Like, there's something in this, like, they're money makers, like, all the patterns and all of that came, and I drove myself into a cycle until, like, one day I hit such rock bottom. I had no other choice. I was like, fuck it, here's my $5,000. It was the last money that I had to my name, and I went, and then abundance just kept coming and coming and coming after I just said, fuck it, yes, I'm doing it. Like, I don't know how, it doesn't make sense, but I have to follow this resonance. Like, there's nothing, like, I just have to follow my heart.
Like, it literally works out every fucking time, you guys. Like, as long as you follow that, like, initial, like, pull, it works out every fucking time. And if you don't follow that, life turns into hell. Like, that's been my experience.
Yeah.
It's like life forces me to be like, you have to fucking learn how to follow your heart, because you don't have to, but when you don't, like, shit hits the fan so hard, and then I have to learn the lesson that I have to follow my heart.
And sometimes, like, you know, one tool that we love using, that Nazra also, like, talks about a lot, is imagine the worst case scenario, you know, and it helps to loosen up the grips of the mind. So if you're, like, if you're scared to join, like, a course, or you're scared to follow your resonance, to go on a trip or whatever, like, can you dive into what would be the worst case scenario if I did do that? Like, maybe the worst case scenario is that, like, you wouldn't have money to pay for rent, or you would lose this, or you wouldn't be able to feed your children, like, you wouldn't get kicked out of your house. Like, can you just play that out? And it was like, I had to play those out to the extreme of, like, I have no money, nobody would take me in, I'm a bum on the street, like, what would I do? And I was like, oh, I'd cry and I'd cry and I'd cry. I had to, like, keep playing that out and feel like the worst case scenario. And then I was like, wait, it's not that bad.
You're still fine at the end of
like,
it.
I'm still okay. Like, I'm a bum. I would pick like probably Santa Monica Beach and like just chill by the beach and like, you know, and then like there's soup kitchens around, there's homeless shelters. Like, okay, I could get a job. Like, okay, I can work myself out of that. But sometimes like imagining the worst case scenario of these financial lacks and fears like helps us get to the core to really feel that fully. So then now there's the space to start to play and create.
So it's like that leads you to realizing, okay, well, worst case scenario plays out, you are somehow going to be fine because you're still going to be breathing and it's fine. And so then you can see, well, you're not following your resonance because you don't actually really want it.
Yeah. Because when it comes down to it, like, if you really wanted to join this course or you really wanted to go to Paris, you'd just do it. You would find a way. Like, if your life depended on it, you would make that money. Like, you know, if you wanted, like, let's say it's $1,000 to join something or to go on a trip, it's like, you know, if your life depended on it or your loved one's life depended on it, like, let me tell you, like, you would get that money in no time flat. Like, you know, everybody here, like, everybody knows how to make the money.
You could sell something. You could like set up like maybe like a payment option, or you could just go work like fucking go clean someone's house for like $100. You know what I mean? Like, it's so easy. It's so easy. So what's stopping us from even seeing all the possibilities of, hey, like I could just like sell something that's like sitting around that I don't even really use. And like, then I would, you know, sell a couple things and I'd make $100. Or just leave it open. You know, what's happened to me before is like, I felt like I didn't have any money, but I wanted to get something. And I was just like, okay, I'm ready for money. I found money on the street. I found like $100 on the street, you know, random shit like that happens, but you have to trust that it's just going to happen because you want it to happen and you want it for a reason. So God knows how the money is going to show up, but it will always show up if you get your shit out of the way and just say, no, this sounds fun. This feels like my next step to my next level. So I'm going to do this. I don't know how the fuck it's going to happen,
but I'm going to jump.
But it's just going to happen. And that's it. And what's the worst case? It doesn't happen and then who cares? But like, at least just take the lead.
At least you're living your life.
So it's like, goes to like, where are your priorities? You know, like, I feel like this is a perfect opportunity for all of us on this call to get like painfully clear on what our priorities actually are. So we can say we want more money, we can say we want our lives to change, but what are you actually committed to in every moment? What are you actually committed to? So it's like people reaching out to us and being like, we really need to join your course, but we don't have any money, even for the first payment plan. Well, okay, it's really easy to make that money. So what are you actually being committed to when you message us that? Like you're committed to staying stuck. Because if it wasn't the case, you would message us and be like, oh my God, I'm so excited for this course. I don't know how the fuck I'm going to get the money, but I'm going to get it and I'm going to start there with you. There's a difference. Or maybe not our course, whatever it is in your life that you're feeling limited by funds to experience. So it's like, let's stop bullshitting ourselves first and foremost. You know, it's like with love, of course, like we're not, you know, like judging or like, you know, being mean or anything like that here, but we're wanting everyone to get really honest with themselves. It's like, what are you actually committed to?
And then like one thing that we noticed as well around abundance and money is there's just so many spiritual lack beliefs around money. Like, I know that that's what stopped me is like, actually once I started on this spiritual journey, like so much around this lack came up around that.
Yeah. So there's like a big one is like, okay, well, if it's not free, then it's not genuine. You know, like, oh, like that person, it's like, oh, their weekly calls are free, so that's genuine. But now there's a course, so that means they were just doing weekly calls to like prepare us to buy their course, and so they're full of shit and like they're selfish or like they're trying to get something from us. There's so much fear around, God forbid, like someone like asking for something so they can keep running what they're running. So it's like, even for us, you know, it's like, to be so dead honest, you guys, we're not making any money from this course. It's so fucking cheap. All it's doing is paying for our like monthly thing for our website and like their mailing list stuff. We're not making like anything from this. And it's like, okay, well, we just want to give to you. And so we're just doing that because we want everyone to just like, come on, like, let's just step into our power and like fucking have fun. So, okay, if that means that, okay, we're not going to make any money, then whatever. That's not even the point of it.
And then there's this whole thing around, like, I think spiritual ego of like actually staying in lack. Like, I know for me, it was like, I was so proud of the fact that I was living on like $1 a day. Like, I was like, it was actually being in lack was like my ego. Like, look at me. I don't need money to be happy. Like, I've traveled the world. Like, I was so proud. Like, I was so proud. Like, I had $1,000 to my name and I spent 2 years traveling all over Central and South America. And it was like, that's what I was like kind of bragging about, like, look at me, I have no money and look how I get shit done. Where it's kind of like, okay, like, and that's the beauty of this. It's like, we know that we don't need money. We know that we don't need anything to be happy, but it's like, what do we want? Like, what do we want to start to create as well?
This is a really good point, Lior. You mentioned that maybe you're committed to comfortability, and that's exactly it. Like, even though you're miserable where you are, it's comfortable and it's familiar and it's safe and what we know. So we're just committed to that, even though we want something different and we say we do and we pretend that we're moving towards that. But when push actually comes to shove and it's actually time to
go big,
to be big, we don't want it because we're scared of what that looks like. So we go back to our smallness and then we wonder why we're still there. You know, we like trick ourselves.
And I think like for me as well, this was a really big one. Like, it was so much more comfortable to stay small and to like not make money because I was really good at that. But it was like, part of me knew I wanted to go big and wanted to start creating these big courses. And like, I wanted to be like the next Tony Robbins or whatever, like, but in a whole new crazy fun way. Like, but it was like, I think I had this lack belief around like, if I start to work hard, like if I started to like make a lot of money and get bigger, like I would have to work really hard. And that was a lot of stress. And so I actually didn't want to get big because I didn't want to have to work hard.
Yeah. So it's like getting honest, you know, for me, it was always like, well, I don't want to get big because like, what if I actually go for that and I can't do it? And then I'm going to know that I'm a fucking failure. So I might as well just pretend I'm trying and not even actually try. So I don't have to face the fact that maybe I just can't do that.
Yeah. And Brigitte, this is awesome. Like, I can have this aversion to being like people that I know who have money and therefore have careers that don't enjoy. Like, this was also my thing too. Cause I think like growing up in America, like I saw all of these people with lots and lots of money and they were all miserable, like so unhappy, and they had everything. And then I started I traveled for 17 years abroad, a lot of times in third world countries. And I did the Peace Corps in Africa. And I was in Africa, like mud hut village. Like, these people had nothing, and they were the happiest people I had ever met. So what happened in my consciousness? Money equals unhappiness. No money equals happiness. So where did I stay? No money. Like, you know, so it was like this whole poverty consciousness that I was actually like aligning to. And it was like, but it's like what we're here to do. And what I see in this community as well is like, and what we want to create a community around is like that, like we can actually start to make money and be really fucking happy and actually make a huge change in the world with the money and the abundance and have fun doing it, like creating like breaking out of the system.
It's win-win, you guys. It's win-win when you really see like the truth of it, you know, when you get rid of all this shit and it's like, oh my God, we can help massive amounts of people on the planet. We can fucking revolutionize the way everything is done here. We can make a fuck ton of money and have fun and enjoy it and
change people's
get
lives.
Nice things and encourage other people to get nice things. Like what is so like, it's possible. That's actually what we're heading into, you know?
Like, we envision millions. Like, even the 8-week course, like our original price point was like 6 to 10 grand for this. And like, we see it that we are going to raise it to that. Like, it is worth that much. Like, we know our value. We know how we're going to show up for people. And when people actually, like, if you only pay $100 for something or you get something for free, how much do you really show up? Like, I know Tony Robbins, I think he charges like, I heard like 15 grand for like 45 minutes or something like that. Like, if you show up to it, like if you paid 15 grand and showed up for 45 minutes, you would, I'm like, how would you show up? It'd probably show up a lot differently than if you just like had a free session with them.
Yeah, and so it goes back to that. It's like, we know where we're headed with this. Like, we're going to help a lot of fucking people and make a lot of fucking money so that can then, we can enjoy our lives and circulate it back into like, you know, sponsoring projects that are going to help and this and that. And it goes kind of like, we wrote something down here about like, we have so much judgment around like spiritual teachers or people that actually make money. Like we were thinking about like Bentinho, for example, like because he owns it, that he likes to make money and he likes to buy nice things, and that helps him feel good so that he can give more to everyone else.
Like, why not create
why
an
not?
epic life?
And people judge him so much for that, but it's like, why? Like, all he's doing is helping you. You don't have to go to his retreat, you know?
Yeah.
You get so much out of his stuff, but still people are pissed off that he's making money from it. Like, what is that shit?
And we could even feel, I think, because Nazra was doing her 99 days for free every day, we could feel like just the energetics of like putting out a course for $299, like what that lash was and what the judgment was around that. Well, Nazra did it for free, so everyone else should do it for free.
So they're charging, so they must be phonies, or they just must want to just get from us, you know? So it's like we're using these opportunities. And it's perfect that this is actually what played out, because let's just look at all of it, because it's all bullshit. Like, what is that showing you about where you feel guilty about receiving money? You know? Why do we feel so guilty for it?
And what do we really want? Like, that's what I had to get really real with too. It was like, okay, I traveled the world and I did so much on like nothing, like on like no money. I mean, I was staying in like the crappiest of crap dumps, like in Ethiopia, and like, just like, you know, like the cheapest of hostels. And then it was like, I had to really look like, okay, yeah, I'm happy and I'm loving like my travels, but I actually want to stay in like a nice resort. I actually like want to eat like out at nice restaurants. Oh, I actually want to buy some nice clothes instead of just like the thrift store clothes that I've had like my entire life. I know I can do that, but what do I really want? What do I really want? Like, can I allow my heart to want that? Is it okay?
So it's like, even now, you know, like, okay, so we've been talking, but it's like, come back into your heart space, you know, because like a lot of us right now are in our heads, because I can feel it. And let's just drop into our hearts. Like, what are we actually feeling from this call? Like, what are we feeling? What were we expecting from this call? What are we getting? What are we disappointed about? What's coming up for us? What are we excited about? Like, let's just tune into that before even moving forward. Let's just get present. Like, what is it that's holding us back? You know, we say we want to change the world, but we can't do that when we're broke. You know, and it goes into like, how is your relationship with money? First and foremost, like, are you hoarding it? You know, when you get some money, are you like, oh shit, like I only have like X amount of money, I can't really spend it because I'm not going to have enough. So like the underlying premise of that is that you aren't taken care of. You can't even get more. So basically you don't trust yourself. You don't believe that you are the source of like what, like it's, you are the thing that makes money. And there's always a way to make it. So if you're scared of spending money because you only think you have like X amount, like a finite amount, it's because you don't think you're going to get more. Meaning there's no abundance mindset there. It's like then you can't spend it on things that you want. You can't even enjoy it because you only have a little bit and you have to like keep it. Like, oh, I'm so lucky I got a little bit and I have to keep it because I'm not going to get more. That feels like shit. It's like goes back to like that pattern of like receiving money is like stuck. And when we're hoarding it, we're closing it off. We have to like open it up and let it breathe, you know? So start to give money. Give $1 to someone on the street and like just notice how good that feels.
Yeah. And then it's like just that that like nature's cycle, like the natural cycle of life. It was even like, you know, for Nazra, like giving like those for the 99 days for free, like when she launched her leadership course, I was just like a full body yes, here's $1,000. Like, because it was like, I was just so grateful for what she had given me. I didn't even think twice about that. And then it was like, as I joined that, I received so much, and then I've given to her, and then we're just supporting each other. And it's not even like tit for tat. It's just like this cycle. And the more that we give, the more that we receive, and we can actually start to support. And I feel like that's what this community is going into. You know, we start to trade services, we start to give, and then we start to receive. Like, and it's not about anything from the mind.
And what's so interesting is that it all works out. Like by doing that and opening it up, somehow we all have enough money and then some, and we're all getting everything that we want. Like no one actually has to lose out on anything. And that's the thing. It's like when we're hoarding it, we think, oh, if I give it, then I'm going to lose out because you're going to get it then. But that's not the case. We're all so connected. You know, it goes back to the woo-woo. It's like we are seriously so connected. And that's actually how like the rules of this reality work. It's quantum mechanics. Like it's scientific, you know, it's like this is actually how it works. So let's start to use that to our advantage. Because if you can't spend money, you will never make money. Because it's the same energy, just two sides of the same coin. How can you expect that you're someday going to make a lot of money in your dream that you feel, but yet you can't give $300 for 2 months, or you can't give whatever it is that you're wanting to do? Like, come on, you know, like let's get really real with that. You're never going to make money if you can't give it, because it's the same energetics. You have to let it breathe.
And I know for me, what helped me to start to do this practice in my life was I actually like allotted 10% of every single penny that came in to me, I would give back. So I actually like created like a little thing. So if I, you know, I used to like, if I charge $100 for my like one-on-one session, $10 I would put away. And I actually like had a little like bank, and I would keep that money in there. And then I would just like ask the universe, or like kind of ask for signs of, or like just feel in, where do I want to give this? So I would start giving like randomly, like, you know, just even like little like random acts of kindness of like paying for the guy behind me, like for the groceries, or like in the bus line, or like, you know, giving to a bum that I normally wouldn't, like, and I just would be guided intuitively. And I had fun, so much fun, like with this little pot of money, like different creative ways of how I could give it, you know?
Yeah, and start to play with it. It's like, oh, I'm giving this money. Like, I'm going to look for all the signs and how this is coming back to me. You know, there are signs everywhere showing you how abundance is coming back to you if you just noticed it. And even Tony Robbins says this, like when he was broke, like before he went big, I think he only had like I don't know how, like $5 to his name, or I don't know how much. And he gave that away. And after he gave that away, trusting that, no, you know what? No, this feels good to give. I don't know what I'm going to do, but whatever. That's where his breakthrough started, actually. So it's like he opened up that energetic tightness so much that he's like, no, take it. Like, I know more is coming. And it just comes that way. So it goes down to like, why do we feel like we can't do that? What are we scared of?
And it changes the whole energetics of when we do give, you know? So like, you know, when I gave to Nazra to pay for that, or you give to Bentinho for like a retreat, or, you know, for us to the course, it's like the energy is now coming from, wow, thank you for this gift. Like, thank you for this energetic like exchange. And then you're seeing how you're actually supporting that person, or, you know, even if you go for like, I don't know, a haircut or massage or whatever, like you give that person, you know, that money, and that's supporting them to live out their heart and their passion, and encourage them and support them. And that's what you're going to receive like trifold
from them.
Yeah.
And it's like going back to, you know, we say we want to like make the world better, but this is how we do it, you guys. It's like not some big thing that's out in the distance somewhere that we have to get somewhere first and then we're going to make the world better. It's like right here, right now. Because you're giving that person money. Look, that like encourages them to keep sharing their gifts, which they're naturally here to give anyways. And it amplifies their vibration. And as their vibration amps up, then they're going to support someone else and their vibration is going to amp up. It's like literally one little thing can change the whole fucking world. People say that all the time, but truly, like when you really think about it, like it's so true. It's so true. And you have the power to do that. And so it goes back to, it's like we're already perfect as we are, you know? Are we done pretending that we're not? Are you bored of that yet? Are you done?
Of course, this is really good. I really want to be in that trusting state that I'm fully taken care of when I'm following what feels good. I go in and out of it, and I'd like to be more solidly there. And it's kind of like, yeah, like, you know, and first is to say, like, no, I don't want that because I'm scared. Like there's some kind of fear there, like to get really honest, like, no, I'm too scared to like start following my heart and giving away what maybe little money like I have at this moment. But you can also change the energetics around it. Okay, like if you can really declare that you want this, you want to see the truth of this, like can you know in your heart of heart that what is being spoken of and what you're feeling is true? And can you just like jump and start to do that and start to play with that?
Because it's there for a reason. And it goes back to like, okay, there's like a natural resonance or pull towards something. Oh, but I don't have enough money. And so you block off. Life is trying to get you out of your shit. Life is trying to get you out of your lack. But you keep blocking it off because you think it's a sign that you don't have enough money, so you can't do anything. You're like missing the whole point of what life is showing you with that excitement that you feel in your heart. So that's why you're staying stuck in the cycle.
Yeah.
Because you're not listening to how life is trying to get you out of it.
And the more that you just play in it and you start to really like also like look back in your life at all the times where like you were fully supported, to really start to see all those threads, that it's not just some concept that we're speaking of, but you can actually know this throughout your life. It's like, even for me, I had a huge business and following here in LA. I was leading workshops and retreats and making a lot of money doing that. And then I heard like my heart was like, leave everything and move to Sedona. And I was like, I didn't know anybody in Sedona. I didn't know anything. And it was like, I just had to follow that and drop everything. And that's when like I came to Sedona and I met Bentinho and I met the whole community there. Like I didn't even know anyone was there. And it was like that opened up a whole new like bucket for me. If I would have stayed in LA, because no, I need to make money and I've been working so hard to build up this like business that I like, and now I'm successful. Like I need to hold on to this. I need to hold on to this. And it was like, I had to just follow my heart, let it all go.
Because
And
look at what something so much bigger is coming.
And now like,
now,
if I was just holding on to that old thing, this wouldn't be happening right now. But
yeah,
I didn't know that at the time. Like you don't know what's ahead.
But you just have to follow the inkling. And so it even goes back to like, for us as a community where we're so just committed to like learning how to be like epic in life through flow and ease, wanting to make money just for the sake of making money is not the answer. It will not happen. You have to connect to your excitement and your higher passion and your vision. Because that's what drives us. If this was just for the money, I wouldn't give a fuck. And that's how it's been my whole life. It was always somewhat just for the money, and it never worked out. But when I finally just let that go, and I was like, fuck the money, I have a fucking message that I need to get out, and I will die doing that. Like, that's how I feel. And that's the drive that like, we know we're going to make so much money with this course. We know it. We already feel that, but it's like that would only happen because we're so connected to our message and our vision of what we're wanting to spread to the world. So it's like an invitation for everyone to like sit with yourself and feel, what am I actually wanting to share? What's my passion? What's my message?
And even if like you can't connect with that right away, just start having fun and following that. Like, another little story I want to share is I don't know if you guys know John of God in Brazil, but he's this medium in Brazil. And I really wanted to go. And I think it was going to cost like $5,000 or something with the plane ticket and to stay there for a month and all of that. And it was like all signs like, I was like, my heart wanted to go. I just knew I had to go. I didn't know why. And then all of these things started coming up. Well, money, and like my rent was $2,000 in Santa Monica. I have to pay that on top of this. And like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I had to just be like, fuck it, I'm just going to go. And so I went. And when I went there, I honestly, like, I just had my Instagram stories and I started taking pictures in the crystal shops just because I was like, oh, these are such cool crystals at John of God. And people started saying, oh, I want those. Can I have those? Can I have those? And I started buying crystals just because it was fun and I was playing with it. And I ended up making $10,000 just on buying and selling crystals. But I didn't go there like to try and think, how am I going to make money? How am I going to make money? I just started following the breadcrumb trails of excitement. And I just started to do that. And then all of a sudden I'm like this crystal seller and I know nothing about crystals.
And she's made a fuck ton from it.
And I made a shitload of money
doing
it.
nothing.
So if I would have stayed in Santa Monica, I would have still been in my little routine. But it was like, I went and I actually made double the amount of like what I would have done staying home.
Because you guys, like, effort and resistance isn't the way anymore. Like, we can't keep like forcing ourselves to work because we think we need money, and then we wonder why, like, how do we figure all this life stuff out that life can be easy? Because you just have to drop it. You just have to drop it. Like, at what point are you going to be like, okay, this clearly isn't working. I've been doing this for 30, 40, 50 years. And like, you kind of know where it's going to go. Just like, whatever, you can go back to it. If the fun way doesn't work, you can always go back to it. But like, at least just go for it.
And here it says, I have a desire to have clients for coaching or space holding and leading workshops, but I've never done it before. And that comes up as a fear of just starting and committing. I want to do this because it's exciting and not for the money. And yeah, it's just starting small, like just doing what brings you joy and like, doing it for the fun of it, of just getting yourself out there to start sharing.
Like, what if you shared about it, Corey, and then like no one came? Like, can you just face that? Like, like, will the world end if that happens? Ultimately, like, who cares? Who fucking cares if you like share about it and you want to, you want to coach? And, I was in coaching. I've been coaching clients for like over almost like, I don't know, like 8 years or something. But before that, I was always like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do this. And I was like putting my message out there, but no one fucking gave a shit. Like, no one even like wanted to come see me. But I didn't care. I just was like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do this,
Even with our funny videos, like no one laughed
at our funny videos.
Nobody was liking them, but like we love them. So we just keep making them. Even though we get like maybe 2 or 3 likes, like we're doing it because we love it.
I literally lose sleep over it.
She watches our videos again and again.
I stay up all night watching them over and over again.
But we're doing it just for the fun of it. And we actually declared that. We're like, these fun videos that we're making, that is what is going to bring us our clients. Like, this is how we're going to bring in our clients. By us being so authentically us and what we love to do, like that is what's going to bring this in.
So even if it doesn't show up at first, like who cares? Because remember, you're not doing it for the money.
And you know what, Corey, what really helped me start to launch is there was this program called the Africa Yoga Project that was in Kenya, where I had served as a Peace Corps volunteer. And my friend came and showed me, because she's like, oh my God, Callie, this program has your name all over it. And I was like, okay. And it was like working with the deaf, teaching yoga and meditation, going to Africa. And I was like, my whole body was like, oh, fuck yes, like I want to be there. And then I called them up and they said, oh, in order to be an ambassador for this project, you have to raise 10 grand and it starts in 3 months. And I was living in Korea, and I was like, how the hell am I going to do that? And at first I was like, okay, I'm not doing it. But I slept and it was like, I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I made a declaration, I am going. And that's what got my butt up. That's the first yoga class I taught. I started teaching workshops. I started leading sessions, and everything was to raise money for this project. So when it wasn't about me, I could do it. And actually in 3 months, I raised over 10 grand and I went to Africa. But it was like, it wasn't even for me, I think, about like going to Africa, because when I was there, it was kind of I don't know. But like the whole process leading up to it was me stepping into my power and just getting out there and just doing it. And because I was doing it with such a joy, and I was leading like dance classes and dance marathons, and schools were inviting me to come and talk about Africa and teach, like I got all these connections and all of these things just started to happen. So it was like just getting out there. So, you could, like, if there's something like a kind of a bigger vision that you want to raise money for, you can, but it doesn't have to be that. You can, why not just do this for you? Like, why couldn't I just do this for me?
And that's the thing, where it's like, you think the resonance, like for example, oh, I want to join this course, and that sounds exciting. And maybe you think that like it's for a specific thing, but honestly, those little breadcrumb trails are actually leading you to something way fucking bigger that you don't even know yet. And you won't know until you take the first step towards the first excitement. And that's going to open up the next random step to the next. And it seemingly looks fucking random as shit, but it's not random, you guys. It somehow works together so fucking magically, and you would never end up at that huge, massive place if you just didn't take that first step and being like, I don't know how I'm going to freaking make $150 to pay for this course, but I'm just going to do it. Or whatever it is. Forget about the course, like whatever it is, we're just using that as an example.
Because you get your mind out. And that's what happened with the Africa Yoga Project. It was like, I'm not a professional dancer, but my brother's a professional dancer. And so it was like, another way to make money to fundraise was like to actually learn how to teach Zumba. So I took a 2-day course learning how to teach Zumba, and I started teaching Zumba, and it became my life passion. Like, just because, but I probably wouldn't have done that because I didn't think I was a good enough dancer to teach Zumba, And so it was like, I just went to that course in order to like make the money, like to to fundraise for this bigger project. And it was like, I did that, and that was the breadcrumb. And now like I make dance videos around the world, and like now we're starting to do little dance parties and things like that. It's like everything is just happening, and you think it's not in alignment, or you think like the mind can't make sense of it, but it's like the heart knows, like the heart so knows. Like, can you just drop in and really follow that, like, and just keep following what brings you joy and what brings you fun, and like just really trust that that's gonna lead you.
So it's like our whole, I guess, point of this call is to like, it's like a wake up call, you know, like let's just wake the fuck up. Like, let's get really fucking honest with what we want, not what we say we want, but what we actually are committed to. Are we committed to self-sabotage? Are we committed to saying small? Are we committed to our excuses? Or are we ready to just fucking go for it? Like, so getting really clear, and like our intention for this call is just like to like wake the fuck up. Like, let's all just wake the fuck up, wake the fuck up. And what are you choosing in this moment to create? It always comes back to that. So, got a little passionate there.
A little sweaty hair right now.
So it goes back to, we just want you guys to follow your excitement, you know, and for us, it's like the container that we're so committed to creating for anyone who joins our course. It's like, we're gonna like just blow all this shit out of the water. Like, it can't.
You're not
like,
gonna be able to stay
between
small
the
with
two
us.
of us, like, there's no room for it. There's no room for bullshit in our field. Like, if I'm so honest with you, like, there's no fucking room for bullshit around us, you know? So it's like, if you want your shit to go, then just join us. Because it can't stand, you guys. It will not stay in my field. Like, I don't hold any of that shit. It's not going to happen. So it's what you want, you know. It's what you want. And don't let money be the issue, because that's not bullshit. The point of this. It's just such bullshit. And we'll figure it out together, you know, if that's something you want, and like it actually is like hard, whatever. Like, we're not here to like, oh no, you didn't pay us, so like we'll figure it out. So it's fine. But at least like give yourself that to at least reach out, or like at least claim that you want it, you know, because then it comes. So anyways, we were actually intending for our rant to go a little shorter, and for us to have some space to just everyone just sit with like all of our lack beliefs around money, you know. So we can do that if you guys want to hang out. But I know Nazra's call starts at 1, I think. Right?
I'm not sure.
I think it's so. At 1. Yeah. But yeah, so it's like, let's just wake up. Let's just wake up. We're making this so affordable. Like, it's honestly such a joke. If you guys knew literally how many hundreds of hours of work we've put into the creation of this, like we're not getting anything out of it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can you tell me the duration of the hours and the number of the days that we'd have calls for? How many days in a week?
Yeah, so it's all written down. I don't know if you checked it out online, but it's basically for 8 weeks. And then
I'll read it.
Yeah, for in those 8 weeks, it's one lesson a week. And then it's daily meditations. It's guided questions every week. There's the Facebook group. There's weekly sit-ins. So we'll be doing
a live sits
with you guys.
To help guide you. Yeah.
And then there's also going to be question and answer every week, so we can really hone in on what's happening to each of you individually.
Personally.
And, like, just work with that. So it's a lot, you know.
But but it's all going to be recorded, and it's all like live. We have like a whole online portal set up for the course, so you'll have access. So if you can't make the live calls, it's all going to be recorded. Because what this is going to be, it's going to be an evergreen program, so that people can join anytime. But it's awesome, like if you can join like Friday, tomorrow we're releasing the first kind of pre-party pump. And then Monday we're starting with the first official call. So you'll be able to join us live from the start. So you'll get a lot of personalized attention, but then people can roll in at any time, and it'll just be ongoing.
We're keeping the discount up until Monday, because people have also been asking us for that. If they can just have a little bit of more time to kind of figure out how to do this. And so we are leaving it open until Monday when we officially start. And so that'll be live. But if you join in after that, it's totally fine. You'll just get the recordings.
And the daily meditations, we're giving you guys some audios. So like a morning audio, a PM audio, and then like a nighttime audio. And you don't have to do that. You can just dive into your own practice, but we're giving you some audios to support you with the practice to go deeper.
So there's going to be a lot, because it's like, you know what, we want to saturate you in
doing
the field
this.
of like, no, like
any lack belief that comes up, back into the silence, like anything that, so that you feel so confident at the end of this that you can handle anything. And you know that every single answer is within yourself. This isn't about becoming dependent on us. This is about you becoming so empowered that you can leave and know that you can handle anything and everything that comes up.
So that's our vision. You know, our vision for this program is really like to get real with, we want everyone to just come and get so fucking real with like where they're at and what's going on and what they want. And okay, well, you know what, then let's get you there together, you know, like let's all do it together. And by the end of it, we're going to have a little like pod of like badass people, and we can just play and like collaborate and just be epic with. Like, I don't know. It's like for us, it's like, well, that's what we're ready for, you know, and that's been our inspiration to do all these free calls with everyone. It's like, we just want everyone to join us because we're fucking stoked all the time. So it's like, we want to play, you know, but first, before we can play, it's like, let's get people to feel like they're even ready to play.
And to really trust in your own unique expression, like that it's so unique and so different for every single person.
Yeah. And we're actually making some stuff around that too. It's like to help people actually learn what their blueprint is and how their DNA like naturally just like moves in the world, and then to start to build their lives around that. So it is in flow and so fucking easy once you can become conscious of what your blueprint is.
So effortless.
So we're working on that too for everyone. So we're excited about that. But let me see. Any notes that I didn't talk about?
Let's end with the meditation.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's all we had to share. I mean, there were so many other things that we wrote down that we didn't get a chance to. So we can even send this to you guys maybe if you want it, but all our notes. Yeah. I mean, it's just time to get real. So
another question.
yeah.
So you just mentioned that you'll also be working on the blueprints, and will that be included in the program, or is it?
No, we
okay,
haven't.
That's a different thing.
Yeah, we haven't. At some point, I think, I don't know. We don't know yet, but it just was something that's been streaming through us a lot to put into a cohesive something that people can like have and learn, and kind of like an experiential process for them to like really figure out what their blueprint is.
But again, like, you know, if you join the program, our focus and vision is for you. So if that is what you need in order to like advance, like that is what we're gonna like speak to, and that's what you can ask in the group and receive support around as well.
Yeah, so it's like an open container, this group that we're starting tomorrow. It's like, it's for you. It's going to be whatever you say it is. You know?
You get to create this. Like, is it around money? Is it around like
blueprint? Is it around
launching your business?
Is it around creation? Like whatever's blocking.
Yeah.
Thing, you know?
Why I'm asking this is because I can see very clearly that I'm not enjoying my photography business, and that's why I'm not able to make a lot of money. And I am inclined towards holding space and having workshops. But I'm so scared to do that because the kind of money that I'm getting from my current business is good. But I'm really scared to shift into that. That's why I asked that question.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, I bet there's even more money waiting for you in coaching. But it's like you have to then like get over the fear of letting go of this. So it's like things like that, you know, it's like whatever's stopping, everything's going to come up in the space.
And you don't have to do it like cold turkey, you know, I mean, that's just how I do it. Like, I love cold turkey. I just jump off the cliff and go. Like, that's how I work, but that might not work for you. Like, you might want to do like cut down your photography to half time and then focus like half of the time on that. Or I know some people who keep their full-time business, and then when they get home, they're just so pumped up and they just get it going and launch it like in the evening. So, you know, it's really getting focused, and it's different for each person too.
So we know that was a lot, but but it felt like it needed to be spoken to and just addressed, and like that all of the energy that we're feeling around the lack, it just had to be met with that. So just notice what came up for you during this call. Like, what are you excited about? What's holding you back? See all those things. Join us, just sign up tomorrow, like message us. We'll figure something out if that feels resonant for you. And if not, then just look at what's coming up and maybe find something that is resonating. Or if nothing's resonating, that's perfect. Then just look at whatever comes up for you on your own. Everything is fine. It's always perfect, but it's like, it's always perfect. So now what do you actually want to choose? What's actually fun, I think we've all died enough. Like, we don't need to keep fucking dying. Let's just like create something.
That was actually how we started, right?
Yeah.
The creation process.
So thanks for smacking my lazy ass and triggering my scared. Yeah, we really wanted to like kind of like just bring that today, like, let's wake the fuck up. Like, what, why are you lazy? What are you late? What is that?
And is that even what you really want? Because I think I was even crying about that yesterday, right? Because I was like, part of me was like, I just want to relax on the beach and do nothing. Why am I staying up till 2 a.m. trying to figure out how to set up this membership site? Like I even started to go back into like my old stress patterns the other day. And then it was like, I had to like let go of everything. And like, I don't even need to do this. And I actually like started to open up to say, is that even what I really want? I could just go on the beach. I know I can do that. I know I could be totally happy just doing absolutely nothing. And then it was like, when I actually like played that out, I was like, oh wait, no, I want to be right here.
Yeah.
I want to be creating. Like, I'm doing this for the fun of it. It was like realigning to why I'm doing this. And I'm actually choosing to do this. I don't want to be lazy anymore. Like, I've played that out and I'm done with that exploration.
And I called her out on her shit, and I called her out on it. And that's the thing. And that's what's so powerful about like hubs like this that we're creating, or containers or community, when we all do it together, because it's like you're going to get called out if there's something, it's like, we're going to call you out on it. And that can look really loving, and that can look really supportive, or it can look kind of harsh like it did today, but it's always perfect. And it's exactly what you need to get the fuck over it, because we're always coming from a space of love and service to you, like just honoring you so much, and sometimes that can look really gentle. Like even our Thursday calls, sometimes they're so
like,
sweet.
Oh, love,
and they're so loving. And sometimes it's like, wake the fuck up. Like, what do you want to do with your life, And
it's so good for the mind to see this, because, we try to pin and put everybody or everything into a box. And it's like, you can't pin it. Like, we can't pin what our expression is in every single moment.
So that's what our commitment is. We don't really care like what you think of us. It's like, we know where we're coming from for you.
And we just want to be with people who want this. Like, that was the biggest thing. Like, when we first started, It was like, we're done with like being people who say they want it, but then don't actually want it. Like, we want to work with people who actually want to see this and want to dive in and want to bust through and want to create the life that they want to live. And it's going to look different for each and every single person. And we're just aligning to your highest vision for you to make that happen.
Because that's where we're going. And it's like, we want everyone to come with us, like hop on the train.
Just
like,
let's play. Let's play.
So we love you all. I don't know. I mean, like, go throughout your day. Like, what's coming up for you? What are you excited about? Do you have any inspirations? Like, what do you want to create? Do you want to join us? Is something heavy coming up for you? Can you just be with that? It's like such a balance between being very feminine and passive versus like having a more aggressive
direct laser focus
with yourself. So that's the balance, and it's like, we're even going to really go into that in the course, because that's going to happen naturally.
And I think too, like, be really careful, because like after this call, it's so easy to get so pumped up and so excited of like, yeah. And then like you leave, and then like you just kind of go back to your old patterns. So it's really like, what are the action steps that you can take starting right now? Like this week, every day for like this week, this month, like start looking at it, like start really looking at it. And what action steps can you take, and how can you hold yourself accountable for that?
And notice if your energy does shift from really excited to not, what was the thing that shifted it? So we're just starting to become really aware of what we're running in our system. So it always goes back to that. We're just looking at everything, having the willingness to look at everything. So we love you guys.
Co-creation, yeah, Lior. You know, just start sharing your vision, and it's like we didn't even plan to like start working together. It just happened. It's just like as you start to share your vision, you start to sync up with those people.
Ah, Jenny.
Vámonos.
Yeah, just keep dropping it back into the space. Just keep finding your center and the part that doesn't move. The part that was just really excited. Okay, but what was the still point in all of that? Move from that space, and excitement just comes. Trust comes from that space. We love you.